Here's everything we know about The Elder Scrolls 6 so far. It's in a playable state. Despite the game still being quite a ways off from showing anything notable, the game is actually in a playable state. During an episode of the Lex Fridman podcast, our Lord and Savior Todd Howard talked mainly about Bethesda's next flagship title, Starfield. However, Todd also graced us with some tidbits of information about The Elder Scrolls 6. According to him, the introduction area is in a playable state, and that's pretty much as far as you can go now in the current state of the game. It'll build upon Starfield's engine. I'm sure you've already seen gameplay footage of Starfield, and as far as graphics go, there's a definite up in fidelity, especially when it comes to the ground clutter. The Elder Scrolls 6 will be building upon this version of the now 11-year-old creation engine. During the Elder Scrolls 25th anniversary video, Bethesda showcased a few seconds of the Elder Scrolls 6's scenery, which shows a considerable leap in graphical fidelity to Skyrim and Fallout 4. Todd Howard has also claimed that the graphical jump from Skyrim to the Elder Scrolls 6 will be much bigger than that of Oblivion to Skyrim, stating that this will be the biggest leap players have ever seen from a Bethesda game. The Skyrim Grandma will make a cameo. Shirley Curry is a name that warms the hearts of Skyrim fans all across the world. Shirley Curry, better known as the Skyrim Grandma, got into gaming in the early 90s when her son showed her Civilization 2, and about 2 decades later, when Skyrim was released, Shirley fell in love with it too, so much so that in 2015, she began a YouTube channel dedicated to making Skyrim Let's Plays. Now, sitting at over 1 million subscribers as of making this video, Shirley Curry, better known as the Skyrim Grandma, has fostered a large and passionate following online. Her fans adore her so much that after learning about The Elder Scrolls 6's announcement, they immediately rallied for her to be honored in the game as an NPC. Only a few months and almost 50,000 petition signings later, we were all delighted to hear that Bethesda was going to happily oblige to the task. Curry was invited to Bethesda's offices and had her face and body scanned, as well as recorded some voice lines to be immortalized in Bethesda's upcoming game. There will be mod support out of the box. Although Skyrim is a great game and we all love it for what it is, if we're being honest, the game would have died long ago if it wasn't for the ridiculously large mod library that the game has. It feels like every year there's a new groundbreaking mod that pops up on the Nexus, which goes and remains on everyone's mod list permanently. This game is old enough to be in high school for crying out loud. So, it's no wonder why Bethesda has been so open to the modding community, as they're the sole reason these games are kept relevant. The Elder Scrolls 6 will be no different in this regard. Todd Howard himself expects the game to be played for the next 10 to 20 years following its release, and although the Creation Club is hopefully something that lays to rest in Skyrim and Fallout 4, Bethesda has promised to make their games with modding in mind. Where will it take place? Although Bethesda has yet to announce where The Elder Scrolls 6 will be taking place, this hasn't stopped fans from putting on their detective hats. Fans have spent night and day scouring over the 30 seconds of computer-generated footage we saw at E3 to pinpoint exactly where the game will be set. There were many provinces people theorized: Blackmarsh, High Rock, and Valenwood, just to name a few. However, most fans believe that the Redguard homeland of Hammerfell will be the next setting. This is caused by a variety of theories, the most notable being the Towers theory. This theory originates from lore developed by former Bethesda writer Michael Kirkbride, and it revolves around the idea that the highest-ranking members of the Thalmor have a secret plan to become immortal spirits by exterminating all of humanity and destroying the physical world. To do this, they have plotted to destroy ancient structures built by the gods known as Towers, which the Thalmor believes to be holding together the fabric of reality. The White Gold Tower in the Imperial City is one such structure. Luckily for the Thalmor, however, 6 of the 9 known towers are already destroyed or deactivated, with Valenwood's Green Sap Tower being under Thalmor occupation, and Skyrim's Throat of the Well being called Sundered. It only leaves the Adamantine Tower in the Iliac Bay remaining, and since that bay is in between High Rock and Hammerfell, and if we are to assume that Bethesda has plans to make the Thalmor play an important role in the Elder Scrolls universe, then it's not such an outlandish idea that the Elder Scrolls 6 could be set in between those 2 provinces. But if that sounds like a whole lot of BS to you, then get a load of this. After the official Elder Scrolls Twitter page posted a photo at the end of 2020 wishing their fans a happy new year, fans immediately put on their conspiracy hats and speculated that the bottommost candle might be hinting that the game will be set in the Redguard homeland of Hammerfell, as the candle sits dead center in the province. It's unknown whether this tweet was made to tease keen-eyed fans of the location or just a harmless New Year's message for their fans. But either way, it hasn't stopped people from turning their walls into detective boards to try and uncover what those damn candles mean. This'll be exclusive to Xbox and Windows. Microsoft acquired Bethesda's parent company, ZeniMax Media, for a whopping $7.5 billion back in 2021. It was quite huge gaming news for about a week, and then everyone had forgotten it ever happened, since no drastic changes were made to the company. However, this acquisition means that from Starfield and onwards, every Bethesda title will be exclusively released on Xbox and Windows, and since Bethesda's quite a ways off from releasing Elder Scrolls 6, it's safe to assume that it'll also be included in that camp. This is probably devastating news for fans playing on the PlayStation, who will have to put up with another 10 years of exploring Skyrim. Story speculations. One of the more amusing theories that came about a short while after the Elder Scrolls 6's initial announcement. In 2018, ZeniMax Media trademarked the term Redfall, causing players to jump into a flurry believing that Redfall would be the title for the Elder Scrolls 6. What could it mean? Players asked. Why red? Some fans thought that the name could be about the fall of the Imperial Legion at the hands of the Thalmor, but many others believed it could be in reference to a disease that's sweeping across Tamriel, caused by Peryite, the Daedric Prince of Pestilence. This all mainly comes from the Skyrim quest The Only Cure, where you must fight worshippers of Peryite who are afflicted with a disease that turns their skin red and makes them spit out green bile like they're a left-for-dead zombie or something. But unfortunately, a few years down the road, we all found out what acquiring the Redfall trademark was actually for: Bethesda's new vampire game. And although this isn't nearly as interesting as fan theories made it out to be, the thought of playing Redfall does make me want to vomit.
Subscribe to Fall Damage, you milk drinker.